Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. I'm Jacob. The opening of the new Parliament building is fast turning into a political spectacle. What should have been a moment of national pride is now turning into a political football between the government and the opposition. More than 20 opposition parties have boycotted the event because they feel the president should rightfully be inaugurating it. In fact, there's also now a petition before the Supreme Court asking for a correction, asking that the president inaugurate the Parliament building and not the Prime Minister. The NDA is not taking things lying low either. The NDA says more than 20 like-minded parties are attending the ceremony and that the Prime Minister, as the head of the government, the head of a democratically elected government, is the right person to be inaugurating a building that's going to last for another 100, 200, maybe even 300 years. The question is, this is a Parliament building not just for the ruling party, not just for the current Prime Minister, not just for the current dispensation. This is a Parliament for all of India, for democracy. Why is the opposition boycotting it? Why can't a middle ground be found? And what may that middle ground be? Because to find that middle ground, the government will have to walk the extra mile.
चाहे पक्ष सत्ता का हो, चाहे पक्ष विपक्ष का हो, सबके सब मिलजुल करके भारतीय समुदाय के इस कार्यक्रम में उतने ही उमंग और उत्साह के साथ शरीक हुए थे.
Leaders belonging to these very same opposition parties spoke ill of her, abused her, and today suddenly they become morally motivated.
Because of the arrogant nature of this government, they are not ready to do that. They are insulting the president, they are insulting the women of the country, they are insulting the tribals of this country.
ये सिंबल कहां से आ गया? ये सिंबल तो एक धार्मिक मान्यता का प्रतीक है. तो भारत हमारा कोई धार्मिक देश तो है नहीं. तो ये सीधे सीधे बुद्ध धर्म से जुड़े हुए अशोक चिन्ह हमारी भारतीय जनता पार्टी सरकार को बर्दाश्त नहीं हो रहा.
सदभवन के उद्घाटन समारोह में ये नहीं चाहिए, इसलिए कि इतिहास को बदलने का प्रयास होगा.
हमने पहले ही कहा कि हम इससे दूर रहेंगे, हम उसमें शिरकत नहीं करेंगे. मामला उसूलों का है, मामला मर्यादा का है, सम्मान का है.
All right, let me now open this up to our panelists. We've got a bunch of members of parliament joining us from different political parties across the political spectrum joining us just days before the inauguration of the new parliament building. GVL N RAO is Rajya Sabha member of parliament and spokesperson of the BJP. Dr. Santanu Sen, Rajya Sabha member of parliament of the TMC. Amar is Rajya Sabha member of parliament of the BJD. And Dr. Ajoy Kumar, national spokesperson of the Congress, will also be joining us in a moment. GVL N RAO, the opposition is saying it's not just one or two, 20 opposition parties from the Congress downwards are boycotting this, saying that this is an insult to the first tribal woman president of India, that she's not being invited. She's not the one who is doing the inauguration. It's the Prime Minister. There's even a petition that's been filed in the Supreme Court. It's going to come up tomorrow. The petition basically asking for that same plea, that the president be the one who does this inauguration. So your response, the onus now is on the government to try and find a middle ground.
No, Zaka, I think it is the intolerance of the opposition which cannot accept the success of Prime Minister, his rising stature as a global leader, and repeated victories of the BJP under his leadership to Lok Sabha in 2014 and 2019. And it is their at one level, it is their arrogance and it is their mindset, which clearly is not in tune with the people of this country, is not in tune with the rising India, with the young people of new India, and they are putting politics over politics and pettiness over participation in a the inauguration of India's parliament.
Okay.
I think this is nothing but no amount of cajoling would have helped, because the Congress party believes that it is its birthright and it is only the members of the Gandhi Nehru family who should inaugurate everything, and everything should be named, every scheme should be named after them. It is their mindset of the Congress party and a slavish mentality of many political parties which actually have acted as props of the Congress party in the past.
Okay, so
As
let
far
me
as
ask
the government
Dr.
is
Ajoy
concerned-
Kumar of the Congress party. You know, there are instances from the past of Indira Gandhi when she was Prime Minister inaugurating the Parliament Annexi building, Rajiv Gandhi when he was Prime Minister inaugurating the Parliament Library building. You have instances when the UPA was in power of Sonia Gandhi and Manmohan Singh attending and inaugurating the new Tamil Nadu Assembly Complex, of Manmohan Singh as Prime Minister inaugurating the new Manipur Assembly Complex. If it was kosher when the Congress was in power for Congress Prime Ministers to be inaugurating Parliament buildings as well as assembly complexes, why can't the current Prime Minister do that? After all, he is the head of a democratically elected government. He is the head of government.
So, Jaka, before that, my good friend Narasimha Rao Saab said that, global leader and whatnot things. I mean, it's like the self-declared Vishwa Gurus. If there was a Quad meeting which got cancelled, everybody else didn't go, but our Honorable Prime Minister went and couldn't find a time to go to Manipur. Second issue is, I don't understand what is New India. Karnataka is also part of New India, so is Himachal, so is Bengal, so is Delhi, so is Rajasthan. And if you think you're the only person who's got elected because you won 2 national elections and you're saying that you are a New India, I mean, isn't it pretentious that if Congress had said something so pretentious, it would have been, it would have been absolutely in bad taste. The third part is, they keep dragging the Gandhis every time into this. We have a president, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, who has won the election 11 times. They seem to have no respect for the democratic process, and they keep saying about democracy. Now, coming to this Manipur and the other issue, Tamil Nadu. The inauguration is because if my constitution is correct, the Prime Minister was invited by the state government and he's above the governor in terms of precedence. But there is something very interesting happening here today, and Narasimha Rao Saab must educate me. He's from the Rajya Sabha. The head of the Rajya Sabha is the Vice President. So the Lok Sabha Speaker is one wing of the Parliament, the other wing is the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Mm-hmm. Prime Minister doesn't want the Vice President and President to come, because if they come, then they have to inaugurate, because the Vice President is also above the Prime Minister, which is too much of an ego, because I keep looking at our Prime Minister,
As far as the information that we have, like Dr. Kumar, one second, just to clarify on that, the information that we have is, I believe that the Vice President has been invited. Now, GVL, if you have any other information you can share on the program.
I would like, first of all, this is the plaque. This is the plaque of inauguration of Chhattisgarh Assembly, a new building of Chhattisgarh Assembly, and it mentions among the dignitaries who have done this Bhumi Pujan Karyakram, Sonia Gandhi on the top of the plaque, MP. Then comes Rahul Gandhi, Member of Parliament. Then at the bottom comes the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, who is a Congress Chief Minister. So if you were so particular about, so is this the protocol? Does the chairperson or a president of the Congress party and Rahul Gandhi, do they take precedence over a democratically elected Chief Minister? And where was governor? Where was governor invited for this particular function for the inauguration of a Chhattisgarh building? So that's one counter Congress party should tell us. Was this a proper a protocol that was followed? Same thing was done in Manipur along with Prime Minister.
No, but GVL, the point that Dr. Ajoy Kumar raised about the Vice President.
Yes, I'll come to that. See, technically, a lot of the Congress leaders either unknowingly or deliberately are hiding one particular information, or they're possibly not aware of it. Lok Sabha Speaker is the custodian of entire Parliament premises. It is which contains Lok Sabha chamber, which contains Rajya Sabha chamber, of which Vice President is the chairman, and all other buildings. He is the custodian of the entire parliament premises, and that is the reason why Lok Sabha Speaker invited the Honorable Prime Minister to inaugurate. It is he who has the authority to invite.
Okay.
And he has invited the Prime Minister as the leader of the country, as a people-elected Chief Prime Minister.
Okay, Dr. Ajoy Kumar, quick response, after which I need to go to Dr. Shantanu Sen as well as Mr. Amar Patnaik. Dr. Ajoy Kumar, quick response.
So my question is, they keep saying that the parliament inauguration, then they say premises. I have a disconnect with what Mr. Narasimha Rao says. The first question is, when there was an attack on the parliament, the Parliament of India was attacked by terrorists during Vajpayee's time. It was an attack on the parliament. It wasn't an attack on the building. So they want to now say that the building is the premises, so you can inaugurate any building. Then you say you want to inaugurate a building and it is not parliament. So it is so specious. The fact is that the vice president cannot be invited, because if he gets invited, then by precedence he has to be above. And if they don't, so if the vice president is there, so the Rajya Sabha's chairman is not being invited because Modi ji wants to do the inauguration. Now it is perfectly okay. So you say, look, we don't believe in proprietary. I'm absolutely okay with it, and I respect your gumption.
Let me go to Dr. Shantanu Sen. Okay, let me go to Dr. Shantanu Sen. Dr. Shantanu Sen, is this an issue that tomorrow a petition is coming up in the Supreme Court asking the Supreme Court, to take corrective remedial action? First of all, I don't know what business the court has in deciding who's going to be invited and who's not going to be invited for a parliament function, for the inauguration of a new parliament building. Now, is the opposition going to use every opportunity where they have political differences, admittedly, with this government to boycott functions which, like I said, this parliament building is going to far outlast every single parliamentarian in India right now? It is going to outlast Mr. Modi. It's going to outlast this current government. Tomorrow, maybe your government will come to power. You will still have to do business in this same parliament building. Why are you going to the extent of boycotting what should have been a moment of national pride and this whole business of getting courts involved? What job does the court have deciding who should be invited and who should not be invited for a Sarkari function?
Before I answer your question, let me give you kindly allow me few seconds to answer my BJP representative who was talking about the success of Narendra Modi. Yes, of course, there is a huge success of Mr. Narendra Modi. India is facing highest unemployment in the last 45 years. People of the country at large, they are not having their food, they are not having their shelter, they are becoming jobless, they are becoming homeless, skyrocketing inflation. Definitely huge success. Dead bodies are floating on river during COVID. Mass cremation on the bank of the river. Huge success of Mr. Narendra Modi. Now let me answer your question. First you reply why you are talking about boycotting. Why BJP is boycotting the first lady of the country who happens to be a tribal. Am I audible?
Yeah, go on. We can hear you. Yeah,
Am I audible?
Yes, we can, yeah. Yes, Dr. Sen, I can hear you. Go on. Go ahead. Dr. Sen, I can hear you very well. I don't think he can hear me. All right, let me go to Mr. Amar Patnaik. Mr. Amar Patnaik, you are one of the few parties which is not in government who has decided to attend this parliament function. Is it also partly because you want to show solidarity with the government and that this is a function that perhaps transcends politics? Or because the rest of the opposition is saying that it's not protocol, it's the president who's the person who should be doing the inauguration, it's the president who's the one who has the authority to call for a joint session, and this is a joint parliament complex that is being inaugurated, both the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha chambers. Therefore, it's only her who should have been rightfully asked to do the inauguration. Why is your party not in consonance with the rest of the opposition and you've decided to attend the function on Sunday?
See, there are a couple of points that I'd like to make. First of all, the president is the head of this country, head of the Republic of India. The parliament represents 1.4 billion people of our country. So both these are institutions of democracy which should be placed at a pedestal much above the politics of parties. And therefore, this is the time when these temples of democracy, this is a momentous occasion, this is to be celebrated. And this is not a time to show opposition unity. It is actually a time to show national unity. And I think that's what we should have been, the message that we have to give to the world. And whatever issues are there, that could be discussed in the parliament. And that's the stand that our party has taken, that these are issues which should probably, as you said, transcend religion. And then second point, which is equally important, is the fact that, as you said very correctly, that the functioning of the parliament would outlast most of us, most of parliamentarians, most of the parties, and therefore this is something which is a symbol of democracy. And politics should not be really brought into this at this stage to express opposition unity or something else. The most important thing is to show that this is a symbol of democracy that we have established, that we are making it operational, and it has nothing to do with really the building or who is going to inaugurate it.
Okay, so Dr. Sen is back on the line. Dr. Sen, again, you know, if you're going to boycott the inauguration because you believe protocol was not followed, you're against the fact that the Prime Minister is taking all the limelight for this inauguration, then you should extend the boycott for the rest of this Lok Sabha term also, right? You should say that we will not operate from this new building. Why restrict the boycott just to the inauguration of this building?
Yeah, my reply to Mr. Amar Pattanayak, my good friend, he was talking about the parliament discussion in parliament. Does he believe that this government really allows the opposition to discuss on the floor of the parliament? Being a member of the Rajya Sabha, he has witnessed so many disruptions caused by the ruling party. This party doesn't allow the opposition party to speak out on the floor of the parliament, and he is talking about parliamentary discussion. Now, BJP is boycotting the first lady, rather the first citizen of the country who happens to be a tribal, who happens to be a part of the parliament as per Indian Constitution Article number 79. The fact is, nowadays PM doesn't stand for Prime Minister. Nowadays PM stands for publicity master, who gets a stadium inaugurated in his name by the hand of President, who gets a medical college inaugurated in his name on his birthday, and so on and so many. So now PM doesn't stand for Prime Minister, he stands for publicity.
Sir, but you're not answering
you're
not answering my question. I had a simple question to you. This parliament building is going to stand for the next 100, 200, maybe 300 years, right? Why are you boycotting the inauguration of this building just because the person who is inaugurating it you don't like or you're opposed to politically?
Because I am answering your question. Because it's a united protest of all the opposition. If we boycott the entire Parliament House for the rest of our life, then where do we go? Where do we go? If we boycott the entire Parliament, this new building for the rest of our life, then what do we go?
No. So then let's be clear, right, Dr. Sen? Let's be clear.
It should have been done in the month of November.
Let's be clear.
One second.
Okay, that's a matter of, you know, when it was done.
1 second, please.
Sir, give me 10 seconds.
You are not allowing me to speak out.
No, I am. I'm asking for a clarification from you. You know, the details of should it have been inaugurated today, you know, the rush for the Savarkar Jayanti, or should it have waited for November, because anyway the session is going to happen only in November from the new building. All of those are matters of detail. But on principle, you are clarifying to our viewers tonight that your opposition to the inauguration of this building is because of the person who is inaugurating this building. That's your opposition.
Because of the parliamentary democracy, because it is violating the presidency, is violating the parliamentary democracy, and we believe it should have been done in the month of November, when in true sense we will be completing the 75th year of our Indian Constitution. So he has not only dishonored our president of the country, he has ruined the basic parliamentary democracy, the basic essence of Indian Constitution, and he has murdered the parliamentary democracy as a whole.
So let me ask GVL N RAO, what was the pressing hurry? The opposition is saying anyway the first session in this new parliament building will be the winter session, which happens in November. What was the pressing hurry to inaugurate it in May, after which the monsoon session will be from the old complex? The new complex will be functional only from the winter session. So why this hurry?
No, what is the problem about the timing? Why should it not happen now when the building is almost ready? The government feels it's the appropriate time before the next Independence Day. I think it is fitting for us to inaugurate it before we ushering the new year, post Independence Day. So certainly the timing is perfect. Secondly, the opposition is only looking for excuses. The TMC members' pick only shows their frustration, their inability to fathom how Prime Minister has acquired such a great stature at the international level. People who have seen him address the meeting, the diaspora meeting in Australia, and people who have seen him being received with the greatest of admiration in international fora, I think is all something that the opposition cannot really stomach. Leaders of the TMC do not simply measure up. They don't have the stature.
Okay.
And that is what picks them. And I would like to ask Rashtrapati, we have fielded the first time Adivasi Mahila as the Rashtrapati, a tribal woman. Will Trinamool Congress today apologize to the people of this country for opposing her? You supported Yashwant Sinha against Mamata Banerjee. Will Mamata Banerjee, will she apologize to the country, to the tribals of this country for opposing her? Will Trinamool Congress apologize?
Okay.
To the
Dr. Shantanu Sen, quick response, and then I want to go to Dr. Ajoy Kumar after that. Dr. Shantanu Sen, if you were so worried about the first tribal woman president being insulted, why didn't you back her candidature?
I have heard it. I will take 10 seconds to reply his two questions. Number one, it is the ultimate frustration of my dear friend from BJP because they have lost the entire political ground in the entire South India. So he is utterly frustrated. And number two, yes, once again it is an example how BJP ruins the cooperative federalism. They never declared the name of the Rashtrapati candidate before. Our leader, Madam Mamata Banerjee, has categorically said if they would have declared the name of Draupadi Murmu ji much before, then we might not have put a separate candidate. But they hardly bother about the parliamentary democracy as well as cooperative federalism. That's why they didn't disclose the name of the candidate beforehand.
Okay,
let me ask
Dr. Ajoy Kumar. You have taken umbrage at the fact that the First Lady has been insulted, the First Citizen has been insulted. She should have been the one who was inaugurating. It couldn't be more insulting than what Rajiv Gandhi did to Gyani Zail Singh when he was president. Indira Gandhi and Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed's differences have been well documented. So the Congress does not exactly have a stellar record when it comes to how to treat Rashtrapatis. Yeah?
So the first question is, I was listening to Narasimha Rao Saab's statement. Did they vote against Mr. K.R. Narayanan? Did the BJP vote? They were anti-schedule caste. Did they vote against when Meera Kumari ji also? I mean, when as a speaker, did they support Meera Kumar as a speaker that was against schedule caste? The problem is, when you start putting up as if Draupadi, the tribals candidate means all the tribals are, all the people from the scheduled tribes are ours. If you put up they removed a tribal chief minister in Jharkhand and put up a non-tribal chief minister the first time. So are they anti-tribals? So this kind of specious arguments, honestly speaking, Narasimha Rao Saab, not expected from you. But anyway, let's move on that, because you vote based on your party basis, whoever stands from you, irrespective of whichever you put. And I won't make that allegation on you against the Bharatiya Janata Party, because that's how the candidates are put. The second issue is, in Australia, mein danka baj raha hai. See, Zakar, no TV channel seems to be doing a program on Manipur. We don't ask this so-called world famous Prime Minister of our Prime Minister. Doesn't go. He goes to Vande Bharat inauguration, but doesn't go to Manipur. He does a function in Australia. Manipur is burning. 54,000 people have been displaced. 100 plus people have been dead. Nobody. They used to go before election. So my question is, what are we talking about? World popular? There was a Quad function which all three heads of state, two heads of state, Japan and America, said no, they can't come. They got important issues. Court got cancelled, Prime Minister went. How much money you spent on this? Australian government was spending it for the town hall meeting. Australian government was spending, it wasn't. It was your people who were the BJP, overseas BJP support group was organizing a function. So it's become a joke. You organize it, you want to spend money and more power to you. But don't mistake this as world popularity. Mr. Trump came to India, abki baar Trump sarkar filled up the stadium, he went back and lost the election. So either we got, I know you're an intelligent man, Narasimha Rao Sahab, so I'm very sure that, you don't want to insult our intelligence. So abroad, globally popular, you want to ask a German, what does he think about Mr. Modi? What does the Japanese feel about Mr. Modi? He doesn't care. The people who care, and we don't care about their leaders also. If you ask me about what do you feel about Biden? Biden may be the president, but he's not I'm not bothered about him. The question is very simple. That whether it is not a question, the question is who heads the both houses of the parliament.
Okay.
And for us, the issue is that the president, by this Article 79, and the legal people, Narasimha Rao Sahab, if I remember, is also a lawyer, the president would have been the most appropriate person. And what I can't wrap my head around is, you didn't invite the president, you didn't even invite the vice president because he can't come. I'm telling you, he can't come because if he comes, then he has to inaugurate it because he's above the president. So let's not pretend that it is a great job done, it is a building.
GVL and then Amar Patnaik, after which I'm closing.
One second, last second, Narasimha Rao Sahab, only 5 seconds. I'll just finish in 5 seconds if I have your permission.
Go ahead.
Otherwise I can stop.
No, go ahead, 5 seconds.
Yeah, okay, thank you guys. The issue is that the Prime Minister wants to inaugurate it in May, and then the parliament session of the monsoon happens in the old building. And we can decide when we want to inaugurate. I mean, yeah, it's seriously, pretty strange for me.
Okay.
And
all right.
like my colleague.
So GVL Narasimha Rao and then Amar Patnaik, after which I'm closing. I'm also getting a piece of breaking news after that. Yeah, GVL Narasimha Rao to respond.
You see, I don't expect, obviously, Dr. Ajoy, a very senior politician and a senior police officer, he has his limitations. He can't accept the popularity of the Prime Minister, but the whole world accepts it. And Biden, whether you or I consider him a great leader or not, whole world considers President of the United States as the most powerful political leader on the planet. I think our party's opinions really don't matter there. And as far as the parliament etiquette is concerned and parliamentary protocol is concerned, I think let me also tell you, he's not a nominated Prime Minister, Dr. Shri Narendra Modi ji. Unlike Dr. Manmohan Singh, with all respects to him, he was a nominated Prime Minister. And therefore, he was relegated. He was dictated to by the Congress party leader. Sonia Gandhi became the super Prime Minister. And she became super chief minister because she inaugurated an assembly building in Chhattisgarh with chief minister only playing the second fiddle. So Prime Minister Modi ji stands in a different league of his own. He is a global leader, whether you like it or not. He is the undisputed leader of this country. People elected chief prime minister. And he has all the authority and not only all the constitutional authority, but also he has all the moral authority to inaugurate
Amar
this building.
I'll give you the final word. When this function happens on Sunday and the pictures of, effectively you are having only representatives from the treasury benches coming for that function. That's not a good look.
No, so we would be there. We do not belong to the treasury benches or with the opposition. We have an independent position, has been clarified by our chief minister several times in the past. And as I said, and as I was just listening to the discussions, we have to transcend this politics coming to the fore. We have to transcend politics, and we have to also think about the fact that the whole world is watching us. And it's not a question of showing opposition unity on a particular issue. It's a question of showing national unity, celebrating a democracy represented by the president and the parliament. If you have to discuss anything, just go and discuss in the parliament. To the question which Dr. Santanu Sen said about disruptions. I think disruptions have been the order of the various sessions by both the Treasury benches as well as the opposition, largely the opposition. So therefore, just to pin it on the Treasury benches is probably not fair.
Okay, all right. We'll leave it at that, and I'll paraphrase what Mr. Amar Patnaik was saying. I don't think this is a moment for... There will be moments for opposition unity, and there needs to be moments for opposition unity in the run-up to 2024, but not this. This is a moment that called for national unity, and unfortunately, those pictures, when we get it on Sunday, of just having effectively just people from the Treasury benches at the inauguration of a new Parliament building, which, like I've been saying, will far outlast a government or a political party or a Prime Minister, that the opposition boycotting is absolutely sad and frankly just uncalled for. I think there's a need to transcend political binaries at this moment of national pride. But we'll